nobody want to accept that bitch. Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
Say what? Jaguar Wright is stirring the pot again. And this time, she's coming for Beyonce with some next-level claims. She's out here saying that Queen Bey is secretly part of a Hollywood lesbian cult that's been backing her for years. According to Jaguar, this so-called cult doesn't just give her support, it lures in unsuspecting women and protects her from scandal, helping her keep that spotlight on lock for all these years. And get this, just days after Bey's old bestie exposed that she was planning an escape from Jay-Z, here comes Jaguar sliding in with even more secrets. She's been dragging Beyonce for a while, but this latest bombshell, easily the wildest yet, she's alleging that Bey's been involved in secret lesbian relationships since her Destiny's Child days. Jaguar even claimed that Beyonce's parents, Matthew and Tina Knowles, knew the whole time. She says they pushed her into marrying Jay-Z fast, trying to cover things up. And here's where it gets really crazy. Jaguar said Jay-Z was already messing with Bey before she turned 18. That part's raising a whole lot of eyebrows, and people are not letting that slide. As if that wasn't enough, Jaguar is calling out Beyonce's Renaissance album too. Remember how she said it was a tribute to her late gay uncle, Uncle Johnny? Well, Jaguar claims it wasn't really about him. It was a low-key tribute to her own hidden truth and ties to this alleged cult. Okay, so let's talk about those wild rumors floating around about Beyonce being tied to some kind of dark, witchy lesbian cult. Believe it or not, she kind of helped start those whispers herself. It all kicked off when she introduced the world to her alter ego, Sasha Fierce. Bey said that whenever she performs, she taps into Sasha.
Beyonce is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high-ranking witch. Okay. How many people have come out and said, hey, shit, my cat started dying. Beyonce did this to me. I saw Beyonce do that. Like this is nothing new. Okay. But you got to understand when it comes to Illuminati, to this industry, one person replaces the other. Madonna's old. Madonna is almost done. And Madonna is a very high ranking witch. She is a high priestess. That's just pretty much what it is. Of course, the main thing Madonna practices is Kabbalah, but then there's different versions of Kabbalah, just like there's different versions of African spirituality. But then I also believe that in addition to African spirituality, I do believe that Beyonce is into dark magic and black magic as well, her and Jay-Z. And we're just going to leave it at that.
Because she's naturally shy and needs this other side of her to take full control. But the way she described it, people were shook. She said, right before I performed at the BET Awards, I raised my hands up, and it was the first time I felt something else come into me. She called it her coming out moment, and that's when folks really started side-eyeing everything. Fast forward to 2018, and things got even messier. Beyonce's longtime drummer, someone who toured with her for years, suddenly dipped out during the On the Run 2 tour, and she didn't leave quietly either. She came out accusing Bey of doing serious witchcraft behind the scenes. Yep, she said Bey was allegedly into some deep rituals before going on stage. But wait, it gets even crazier. The drummer claimed that after she quit, Beyonce supposedly had people watching her, trying to keep her quiet. Things got so intense that she actually filed a restraining order against Beyonce. Let's rewind to the early 2000s, because that's when these whispers about Beyonce's interest in women really started picking up steam. Back then, she dropped a track with singer Emil called I Got That. And that collab kicked off a whole storm behind the scenes. Not long after the song dropped, Emil did an interview where she allegedly revealed that Beyonce was trying to shoot her shot during their time working together. According to Emil, Bey wanted to take things beyond music and explore a romantic vibe. But Emil wasn't feeling it and respectfully turned her down. And here's the shady part. Right after that tea got spilled, Emil's career hit a dead end, almost like she vanished. Her name faded, and her work basically disappeared from the internet like she never existed. Even that interview, nowhere to be found.
Beyonce's ex-drummer of 7 years, she is seeking a restraining order against Beyonce. She's accusing her of dark magic, witchcraft, tapping into her phone bill, and basically controlling her finances. She's saying the Beyonce camp is put up a huge campaign against her, and it's overall witchcraft. She's sought a restraining order in the past. It got denied, and she has another one scheduled for October 11th. But the internet is just like, what? Excuse me? And, I was just at the Beyonce concert last week in Houston. It was definitely a religious experience.
It was reportedly wiped clean like it never happened. But let's be real. Just because it's off the web doesn't mean people forgot. Folks remember, and they've been connecting the dots for years. Then the flames got reignited when Beyonce linked up with Lady Gaga for their hit Telephone. The song had people buzzing, not just because of the sound, but the energy between Bey and Gaga had fans raising eyebrows. The chemistry was intense, but what really stirred the pot was what Gaga said in an interview afterward. She reportedly said, "We had an amazing time working together on her video, and it just kind of works out because we both like women." Boom! That one line had the internet in shambles. People started digging even deeper. And guess what they found? Just 2 years before the Telephone collab, Beyonce had already been spotted at The Box, a wild, adults-only club, kicking it with 3 of her close girlfriends. They were tucked away behind security and thick curtains, with bodyguards making sure no one got too close. An eyewitness who was at the club that night said Beyonce was living it up during the burlesque strip show like she didn't have a care in the world. She was front and center in the VIP balcony, hyped up and clapping loud, while 2 dancers got fully naked and even licked each other's feet. And Bey, she stayed locked in till around 3:30 in the morning, soaking it all in. Now remember what was said about that Renaissance album? How she claimed it was a tribute to her late gay uncle and the LGBTQ+ community? Well, a lot of folks are convinced it was actually a love letter to herself, a way of finally embracing her own truth after years of playing it safe in the spotlight, especially since her marriage to Jay allegedly stopped her from fully exploring her real interests. And the people she brought on board for the album, it wasn't random. Every move looked intentional. She teamed up with a lineup full of queer icons who matched the message she was sending, like trans DJ Honey Dijon, who got credited as the lead producer on Cozy and Alien Superstar, 2 of the standout tracks on the album. Speaking of Alien Superstar, the song also features vocals from Transmedia star Tease Madison, and it samples the iconic track I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. And don't forget, Fred Fairbrass, the lead singer of that band, is openly bisexual, so that connection got people talking. Then there's Break My Soul, which pulls from Big Freedia's explosive track Explode, and Big Freedia herself has always been known for representing the bounce scene and LGBTQ+ culture. And of course, Beyonce brought in Nigerian artist Tems on Move, keeping the vibe global but still super personal. Tems wasn't the only icon featured. Beyonce also sampled vocals from the legendary Grace Jones on the Renaissance album. And to be real, if this project was truly meant to be a tribute to the LGBTQ+ community, then tapping into these bold, unapologetic legends made total sense. But here's the thing. While Bey said it was all about honoring others, a lot of fans felt like she was using the album to heal and express herself more than anyone else. During her Renaissance World Tour, Beyonce had the bisexual pride flag lighting up the screens more than once. It wasn't just a quick flash either. Those pink, purple, and blue lights were a whole mood throughout the shows. That move got people revisiting her old performances and photo shoots, and guess what they found? Bisexual symbolism all over the place. Like her Complex magazine covers from both 2003 and 2013, fans noticed she used that same bisexual color scheme with lighting that mirrored the flag. And those weren't just coincidences. She also used similar lighting in several stage performances from that era. Looking back, it's got people wondering if she's been dropping hints for years without saying a word. But the biggest eyebrow raiser? Some of the lyrics on Renaissance are wild. People pointed to songs where she doesn't hold back, talking about deep desires that definitely push boundaries. In her track, Thick, for example, she flat out hints at wanting to eat out a woman. Now let's talk about the real elephant in the room. Why hasn't Beyonce ever addressed any of these rumors directly? With all this buzz about secret relationships, hidden messages in her music, and possible ties to queer culture, she stayed completely silent. And for someone with that much power and reach, silence speaks loud. Some fans think she's keeping quiet because she doesn't have to explain herself. She's Queen Bey. She moves in silence and lets her art do the talking. But others believe there's more to it. Like maybe she's been keeping a certain image together for years, and saying too much could crack the whole illusion wide open. Even her marriage to Jay-Z has been side-eyed for a long time. With all the cheating scandals, the awkward interviews, and that infamous elevator moment with Solange, people started wondering if it was all just business. A power couple on paper, but something different behind closed doors. And let's not forget the timing of Renaissance. It came after years of Bey being ultra-private. Then boom, she drops an album full of bold, sensual energy, layered with queer-coded visuals, lyrics, and collaborators. It didn't feel random. It felt personal, like she was finally letting people in, but only on her terms. Now the streets are watching closely, digging into every outfit, every lyric, every interview clip, looking for clues. And now folks are starting to piece together just how deep this rabbit hole might go. Some insiders are whispering that Beyonce's entire public image has been one long, carefully controlled performance, right down to her relationships, music, and even her so-called private life. They're saying the Beyonce we see is more of a character than the real deal. People are bringing up how, over the years, Bey's kept a tight circle, super tight. No slip-ups, no public drama, no messy fallouts with industry folks, unless it was intentional. And guess who's been running things behind the scenes all this time? Jay-Z, the same man people accuse of pulling strings, covering up stories, and making business moves that protect their empire at all costs. There's even talk that some of her romantic feuds and moments of tension with other artists, like the icy energy with Rihanna or the awkward tension with Nicki Minaj, might have had less to do with competition and more to do with personal entanglements gone sideways. Nothing confirmed, of course, but you already know how the industry works. Where there's smoke, there's usually something. And the craziest part, some fans now believe that Renaissance wasn't just a musical shift. It was Beyonce breaking free. Like she's finally dropping hints about who she really is without blowing up the machine that's kept her on top. She's not out here saying it directly, but the colors, the vibes, the collaborators, the lyrics, they all speak louder than any press release ever could. Now with all this buzz heating up, fans are starting to wonder, who really is Beyonce behind the curtain? Is she the shy Houston girl turned superstar, or is she someone we've never truly known? Some folks think she's been quietly living a double life, with coded messages and subtle signs scattered through her music, fashion, and visuals for years. Take her fashion choices, for example. Stylists have pointed out how often she rocks androgynous fits, bold leather looks, and outfits layered with symbolism, stuff that some say nods directly to queer culture. And let's not forget her obsession with secrecy. No interviews, no real behind-the-scenes peeks, barely any unfiltered moments. It's all polished, calculated, and controlled. Some say that's not privacy, it's protection. And while most celebs clap back or drop statements when rumors explode, Bey just stays silent, letting the internet do what it does best, talk. But that silence, it's got folks thinking she's saying more with what she doesn't say than what she ever could with words. Some fans are convinced she's been soft launching her truth through lyrics, vibes, and vibes alone. People are even rewatching her old performances, noticing how often she connects deeply with female dancers on stage, or how certain lyrics hit differently now. It's like folks are watching her whole career with new eyes. She really thought she was eating with those lyrics. She on a diet? Girl, you better not lose that butt. And then came that wild bar. That's the Castro. Eat that like it's Mastro's. Whew! Beyonce was not holding back on Thique. She was giving raw, bold, and way too specific to ignore. That ain't your usual pop diva line. That's personal. Then she turned all the way up on Summer Renaissance, changing the original lyrics to something way more suggestive. First it was, dominate is the best way to you. Sorry about yesterday. But then she flipped it to, sweet stuff, you're a sweetie pie. Come let me eat you too. Dominate is the best way to be chill. Come here, Caroline, let me eat you. Like what? Who's Caroline and what exactly was going on between them? Now look, we're not saying for sure Beyonce is bi or lesbian, but at this point, the clues are adding up real fast. And if there's one thing we've learned, Jaguar Wright doesn't talk unless she's got something to back it. She's bold, she stands on what she says. And 9 times out of 10, the truth eventually slides out. People in the comments are already convinced. One person said, "I've been knew she was bi when she said, 'Girl, I want to kick it with you.' I knew what she meant." Another added, "I heard about her and Emil years ago. She ended it and Beyonce went full stalker mode, LOL." But now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Jaguar just stirring the pot? Or is Beyonce really hiding a whole other side of herself? And do you think her marriage to Jay-Z is just for show? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs this tea, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay messy.